Welcome back to Man Cave United, and I've got my analysts with me. This week we're doing Erik Ten Hag. Welcome to Manchester United. We've got Vim on board today, and he's going to analyse his press conference, and we're going to try and break it down for you. How you been, buddy?
Hey guys, how you doing?
You good, mate? That's good.
Very good, very good. Good to be back.
You watched the press conference. He had a
Yeah.
lot of good things to say, and
Yeah.
it gave you a little bit of goosebumps and a little bit of happiness hearing what he had to say.
Yeah. I mean, I can see he's working on his English. He says club as opposed to club, but that's all good. It's the Dutch way of saying club. He admitted he spoke to Van Gaal. He's spoken to various others, Daley Blind, people that have worked at the club. And I think for his first press conference, all the main tabloids were there, all the big papers were there, all the big newscasters, and everyone had a question for him. And I think he handled it well. And they asked him some quite pointing questions about, is it too much of a risk? And what do you think about the performance against Crystal Palace? And he goes, I analyze it and I keep it for myself. He's as much as I love Ragnick and his press conferences, Ten Hag is not giving too much away. It's early days, and you could see him at the Crystal Palace game shaking his head and thinking this is awful, but he didn't publicly go out and say it as yet. So and there's other go on.
No, I did notice like when he I saw some behind the scenes stuff as well before the press conference started, and he walked into the press conference, and the first thing he did was shake. I think it was, it cut short. It was only showing he shook everyone's hand in the front row.
Good.
So,
Good.
So, the professionalism's already showing, even just basics like that.
Yeah.
I look at him myself, and he's sort of a guy that doesn't look like he's a pushover to me.
No.
He stands quite tall. He's very confident in how he speaks, and he's very forceful in his words as well, and when I say forceful, I don't mean like anger or anything like that.
He seems quite stern.
That's right.
Not someone you'd mess with. You don't want to mess with him.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that came across really well in the press conference, which I was very happy to see.
Yes.
So it was good.
And I think it's quite
there, which was good.
Yeah, it's quite tactical as well, you see, because Ragnick's come in and he was handpicked by Murto, because Ragnick is a club builder, he's an intellectual, and he comes in and everyone knows that this club is messed up. Yeah, people have picked up bad habits for the past number of years. Ragnick's come in to kind of expose and shake this foundation a little bit, and he's doing it publicly. And I can see why he's done that, because he has to expose certain elements of that have gone wrong. He's also feeding this information to Ten Hag, and Ten Hag is keeping it to himself. Now, he's said that he thinks there are good players at the club. This club went to second place season before, and he thinks there's potential here. He doesn't want to alienate the players now, so he's keeping his cards close to his chest. He's not exposing the players. He's not exposing anyone. He's giving everyone a chance to prove themselves and to show their willingness and commitment to the club. And I think he's played a very smart move there, because if he starts saying the same rhetoric as Ragnick, he's going to create enemies in that dressing room or create divisions again. So he's giving everyone an opportunity to make a fresh start. I think that was a clever move, because there's stuff going around Twitter now saying, oh, he's going to use the same players, it's never going to work. I can see exactly what it's done. It's quite tactical.
Well, he did touch on that United were second in the league a year ago. So he's confident in the players. You can't – he will.
Ability.
The way he was speaking, he said their ability is there. We've just got to get – he did – one quote he made, he said, work hard, 100% commitment, and I'm sure we will have success. And, you know what? To come out with a quote like that so early in the process is, to me, again, I'll say it's very confident, and he doesn't expect anything less. he's not beating around the bush, as they say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, he needs the players to work hard, and he needs the players to subscribe to his methods and to start believing in this club and this badge, because that's what they're there for. You know, he accepts that the management have renewed contracts, paying excessive wages when they're not even due. And there's an element of correction that's going to happen now. You know, the overpaid, underperforming players would have to go at some point, or they need to step up and start, you know, playing for that massive pay packet that they're getting. The other thing as well is Louis van Gaal. Obviously, he failed at his club. I would say it's relative failure because, you know, what did he do? Got one trophy, and I think he was sacked in the second season, if I remember correctly. LVG said that he spoke to Ten Hag and he advised him not to go to Man United because we're a commercial club as opposed to a football club. And he said to Ten Hag, you should go and join a football club. Man United is commercial. And Ten Hag was asked about this question, and he was also quite astute in his answer. He said, every club has to become commercial because that's the only way you can generate revenue. When you generate revenue is when you can then afford to pay the players and get the big players. All big clubs have to be commercial, which I think was a brilliant answer.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, you know,
excellent.
excellent answer, and that's a brilliant
Yeah,
rebuttal to his pal LVG, who was basically trying to sway him from not joining us. So, you know, the little things we've seen of Ten Hag, I'm impressed. I really am
yeah.
impressed, and I'm really looking forward to next season.
And look, the thing about him too was, I found one answer pretty funny where he spoke
Mm.
about he's now his favorite club in England, or they said to him, "Who's your favorite club?" And he said,
Yeah,
"I've got a favorite club in
I-
in each
in
country." And he
every
said,
every country.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
and Manchester United's mine in England." And I thought, mate, you are good. You know,
he
just
is good.
he had answers to everything, and
Yeah,
he even admitted he'd never been to Old Trafford before for a game,
yeah,
and things like that. So he's not afraid to go out and
yeah,
put his I suppose his career on the line, which is one thing the press did ask him. Are you afraid to put your career on the line?
yeah.
And he
And
said,
isn't it too
and it,
risky?
yeah, and he said, I don't see it as a risk. And you
Mm.
touched on that a little bit earlier, but yeah, he did touch on too. They did ask him a question about Ronaldo and Harry Maguire, and
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, how do you see that? Look, we know Ronaldo scored 24 goals in 39
Mm.
games, and so how do you not have him in your team next year?
Well, I mean, you know, all these silly reports coming out that he can't work with Ronaldo. I mean, it's just complete nonsense because you've got a potent goal scorer, and you've seen Ronaldo's work rate. He's helping out everywhere on the pitch. You know, he's a natural leader. He's a great goal scorer. Albeit he's 37 years old now, but he's in, you know, a prime physical condition. If you have a goal scorer like that and he's helped us save some of the season, why wouldn't you have him? Ten Hag said he's a goal scorer. You know, who wouldn't want to have him?
That's right.
You know, this. I'm
And
glad he's been asked that question and he's addressed it. I didn't catch what he said about Harry Maguire. What did he say?
so Harry Maguire, they asked him about his captaincy,
Mm,
and he said, which was again a very good answer. He said, uh, "Look, there was words of encouragement for Harry Maguire, although perhaps there's no guarantee of his captaincy next year. It's a fresh
hmm.
start. It's a
Yes.
new start, and yeah, so he didn't leave himself. He didn't leave himself open for anything. So he's just gone in
Yeah.
and said, "Well, it's a new start. I'm a new manager." And
Yeah.
so Harry Maguire's captaincy's up for grabs, I assume. So,
As it should
um,
be.
as it should be, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Thing
again,
is, Harry Maguire is actually a better defender when he doesn't have that responsibility of captaincy on his shoulders. And I think that's when we've seen the best of Harry Maguire, when he can just focus on defending. He's done it. He's done okay for England. He's done well at Leicester, but the pressure of Man United is huge. And if you've got all of that weighing on your shoulders, and you've got a divided dressing room, it becomes conflicted. And I think it's bearing too much pain on him that it's affecting his performance. I think he strip him of captaincy, let him focus on becoming a good defender again, because he can do it. He can do it, and at that price tag, it's going to be difficult to shift him. We're going to make
Look,
a massive loss on him.
I think one of the things with Harry Maguire and other players in the fullback role is playing the high pressing, aggressive,
Yeah,
attacking football that he wants to
yeah,
play.
yeah,
Whether these players have got the footwork in the backs, which look, we saw in Crystal Palace when Zaha ran at Delo and Lindelof. I just thought that the jockeying was too far away. They weren't
yeah.
aggressive enough in defending the ball, and and I know I just spoke about an attacking sense, but in a defensive sense, that I don't think we're up to scraps with that. So,
No.
um, it was 1v2 there, and we still couldn't make the tackle.
Yeah, and I think one thing that he's going to be working on is the aggressiveness of the players. He's going to have to get them to start putting a lot more pressure on players. And, we've seen it time and time again for so many seasons that the players just stand off the attack and they let them be. They let them do what they want. When you've got the ball and you've got a player standing 3-4 meters in front of you, not doing anything, you've got all the time in the world to think and to do what you want. That's not how we'll be able to play against the big teams. When we play against Liverpool and City, man, they don't give you time or a second to think. They put so much pressure on you that you basically go into a state of panic. And that's the whole point of pressing football, is that you cause the other team to panic and give away the ball and force the errors. So, the whole squad has to rethink the way they play football. And Ten Hag is going to be drilling this into their minds. And one thing about Ten Hag, what he does as well, because one of the players was interviewed, they said that he gets the whole team of 11 to play against no one. So you come on as your 11 and you play against no opposition, and everyone adopts their position. He blows a whistle and then you attack, but all 11 players have to attack in unison and occupy spaces, make certain runs. So it's almost like get
I
into a
have seen
formation.
this. I have seen this in professional teams. They
Yeah,
do this for a training session, and it's very clever. And they have to do it at speed as well. And
yeah,
they'll put mannequins all over the pitch as well in that drill. And it really your mindset has to be on because it's like
yeah.
shadow playing. So it's very good.
Yeah. So what he's done, and one of the players was interviewed about this, and he said, we didn't understand what we were doing. We didn't know why we were doing it, but he made us do it every single day. And the whole point of that is that when you do something in repetition, it becomes muscle memory. So adopt that position, blow the whistle, attack. You have to occupy that space. You need to make a run there. You need to do this. You do it all together. And then in reverse, you have to also defend together. So that you blow the whistle again, you guys all have to start defending. And I want all 11 players to do it together. And they kept doing this again and again and again. They became muscle memory that when they actually were deployed against a real team, they naturally all knew what to do together. And I think that's how they start playing as a team, because it's not just one person pressing, it's the whole team pressing. It's not just one person trying to attack, it's all of them attacking. Or the centre backs push up to the halfway line, the full backs overlap the wingers become inverted, and then you overload the box with 5 or 6 players, which is what Ajax always do. If I was
Yeah.
watching Ajax formation and the way they attack, as soon as they get possession, there are 6 players in the opposition box. How many times have you seen only one player in the opposition box with our current squad,
Oh yeah.
Mr. Ronaldo?
I'm looking forward to the preseason tour. So I really hope we get to go down and watch at least one training session. Whenever
Yeah,
they've been down under before, we've been able to go to a couple of training sessions. So I'm excited to see how these training sessions look and how they work out. And yeah, I'm very excited about that. Let's have a look
yeah.
at who he's appointed. He's appointed
Mm.
Steve McLaren as well, Fergie's ex-man.
Hmm.
Very good appointment. Uh, how do you see Eric and Steve McLaren working together?
Yeah, I mean Steve McLaren, he was good as assistant for Fergie, and he's got a good awareness of the game. He's good with people, good with players. He's got a nice way of talking to players. So I think he can help fuse that squad together. He can help relay instructions from Ten Hag. Obviously, Steve, being born in this country, will have a better grasp of the language than Ten Hag, but he understands coaching, and I think he's always been more successful as a coach as opposed to a manager.
Yeah.
So I think in that department, he's going to help Ten Hag a lot.
He's very
Um,
successful. And that was one thing
yeah,
Eric said. Eric said he's a winner. No matter where he
yeah,
goes, he wins. And I need that in my coaching staff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Because it
great
was
to
going to be
see.
either him or who was the other guy they were looking at for as a coach? I mean, did Mitchell van der Gaag, has he joined or
Yeah,
not?
yeah, he's
He
joined them as
has.
well. Yeah, yeah,
He's first team coach as well. So it's going to be him and
yeah,
McLaren.
yeah. That's
Yeah, and
correct.
the other guy they were considering was IVP, but that did not happen.
No, look, I think the coaching staff, that not that I know much about the other guys that are there, they've put a lot of thought into this. And the other thing they'll touching on too is they're trying to get a lot out of him about meetings with the board and everything like that. And he never gave much away. He just said,
Mm,
it was all positive, and so it'll be interesting to see over these next, let's say, 2 to 3 months, how things pan out, and moving from there. And then he touched one thing, and I really enjoyed it. He said, in this moment, both Liverpool and Manchester City play fantastic football, but you
yeah.
will always see an era come to an end.
Yeah.
And that got me, I got to admit, that got me excited hearing that.
Yes. Yeah. You see, this guy is not afraid of challenges because
Yeah.
the broadcaster was suggesting to him that, maybe Man City and Liverpool will dominate whilst Klopp and Guardiola are in their respective roles. And he says, "Do you think it's ever possible that any other team can win the Premier League while those two are still there? Because they're dominating world football. Mal set the standard so high, set the bar high, and made the Premier League really stand out even more now. It's you can't even afford to lose 3-4 games a season now."
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, what was the other thing they touched on there? There was talking about did you have a plan coming in or something like that? And I can't remember. It's just gone out of my head now. And
Do you have a plan? He goes, "Yeah, I have a big plan."
yeah, something like
Yeah,
that they were talking about. Yeah,
yeah, and that's it. He just kept it short. He says, "Yeah, I have a plan, but I'm not telling you anything."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll keep everyone guessing because it's too early days to start, revealing too many cracks. Ragnick has revealed the cracks. He's done it to let the world know that there are problems, and that's why this club isn't performing. And now we go to the next phase. The next phase is the repairing and the mending, and that's where Ten Hag comes in.
Mm.
It's all quite executed thoughtfully, I think. And I like what I'm seeing, and I think Murto has been instrumental to this because it's about the appointment of the right people. Woodward had messed this club up for a long time, and he'd broken the wage structure and messed it all up. So I think Murto's doing well so far. I'm quite impressed with him.
There was one guy from, I can't remember the news area, but he said, "Do you think this is a an evolution or
Yeah,
a what was it?
revolution,
Resolution?"
revolution, revolution. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Far out.
I,
They were hitting him
I,
hard, weren't
they're hitting him hard, yeah, and he's obviously prepared, and he's
they? Yeah.
he's I think he's got people there on the ground helping him as well, because we follow the press all year round, and he's been focused on Ajax and taking them to their fifth title. So he's got people there in the club who are advising him, say, look, these are the kind of questions they're going to ask you. This is the kind of criticism that's been going around, so we want to prepare you for this. Um, so I don't think he's done it all himself, but he's got the right people there supporting him, and that's what everyone needs to do. All Man United fans need to support this guy. I'm already seeing negativity about him, and that is just completely uncalled for. It's they anything they say, oh, we're going to keep the squad and we're going to try and work with him. He's being criticized for that by just random people around the board. I think everyone needs to rally. We need to all support Ten Hag and his vision. We've got to get away with this negativity because negativity breeds negativity. Stop it, nip it in the bud. Let's support this guy.
Yeah.
Let's
Look,
get back to the top.
the hardest thing I saw, and look, you don't watch it. Look, when I was watching the press conference, I didn't see it all as positive. The only thing that concerned me a little bit was the recruitment part when he started talking about recruitment. And I know we can't talk about incoming players or stuff like that. And but I did hear a little. I thought there was a little bit of hesitation about, because Ranić was talking about
10 players.
10 players, was talking about the 10 players. And then when they asked him the question, look, he didn't stumble over his words, but there was nothing like, oh yeah, we're going to be turning over a few players or anything like that. He just turned around and said, look, recruitment is an important part of the game. And, that was it. That's all you got out of it. So
yeah,
I would have liked him elaborate just a little bit more on that, So
I think it's too early because if he had said, "Oh, we're looking to get rid of 3 players,"
not so much to get rid of, but we're looking at or something like that.
But think about this though, right? Imagine you're a player in that dressing room, and as far as I know, that Ten Hag has actually gone to meet them when he went to watch Crystal Palace. He's just observed as a spectator, and he didn't go and greet the players. He didn't speak to them. So he's keeping his distance, and he's not being that pally with him like a previous manager was, too pally, because then they start to abuse that trust. He's kept his distance and he's kept his powder dry. Now, if he had said, I'm thinking of getting rid of 3 players, imagine the thoughts going around in that dressing room. Is it me? Is it him? Oh, I think it's going to be him. All sorts of emotions and thoughts are going to start spinning around in people's heads, and then that negativity has started. Keep that negativity away from the dressing room because it's been there for too long. Fresh start, keep your powder dry, don't reveal too much. Let the players do the talking on the pitch, on the training room, not in the dressing room.
We'll touch on this too, which I liked. I actually asked a question about, are you excited about working? Sorry, not excited. Are you looking forward to working with Donny van der Beek? So, and again, he said, I'll read it to you because I really wanted to get that one right. He said, of course, we had a fantastic squad in our team at Ajax. I have had a good relationship with him, and I'm looking forward to meeting again on the pitch. So it looks like he's going to be a big part of this
definitely
team. So
yeah, and I see what he means because when Van der Beek used to play, I observed a lot of one-touch passing and quick movement. Van der Beek's all over the pitch. He stays close to the ball and he gives options to every single player. And it keeps that one-touch tiki-taka football moving. He's almost a catalyst in that team. And his tackling is good. He's aggressive, and he's exactly what AX is. And the thing is, no one else plays like him, and so it's absolutely impossible to implement that type of football without the right coaching. So Ten Hag coming over is brilliant because you've got a player that knows how to play the AX way. You're going to now have to start sharing and spreading that philosophy of football. I think he's going to have to bring in a few more players like Van der Beek, tiki-taka, technical, aggressive, good on the ball, to make this work. There are certain players who cannot do this in this team, and it will be shown in due course who they are.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to end the pod there. Actually, one more thing. I enjoyed when he said he's looking forward. He's never been to Old Trafford before, and he's looking forward to walking out in that atmosphere and for the first time. And I know when I went to Old Trafford for the first time, it's that bloody good, I tell you. And it's going to be good when the cameras pan around on him, and there'll be, I'm sure. Well, I don't know if he smiles. We haven't seen a really good smile yet. And
he laughed in the beginning. He says,
Yeah,
he laughed in the beginning. I'm happy to be here in Manchester, and he was like smiling and everything. And then the stern look came out.
Yeah. So
I think
well,
the press will have a hard time trying to prod him
yeah,
because the press can ask very difficult questions and they're quite clever the way they can extract information from people. And Ragnick, he will tell you whatever you want to hear. I think with Ten Hag, it's going to be difficult to extract information from him. It's the way Pep gives his interviews. I know his English isn't very good, but he doesn't reveal too much. He says, "Yeah, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. Good football, I'm happy." It's the same narrative. He doesn't reveal anything about his tactics. He doesn't reveal anything about his strategy. He doesn't tell you anything about the way they play football. He says, "Yeah, I'm very happy, I'm very happy. The team played good. I'm very happy." Have you noticed that it's the same
yeah,
pattern? Klopp is
yeah,
a little bit more revealing. He's
yeah.
more articulate. But again, they don't reveal too much about the way they play football, and they don't reveal problems in the club. They keep that to themselves, and I think that's a good way to go.
Well, Vim, you've summed it up excellent, mate. And so, people, remember to like, share, subscribe. I want to thank you again, Vim, for coming on today. And it was good to pick
Welcome.
your brain about Erik ten Hag and his press conference. And I'm looking forward to picking your brain over the season. So, thank you, everyone. And we'll catch you later on the next one. See ya.
Take care, guys.